Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Care Sandwich. I have attorney Renee Bauer with me, and she's going to join us on the virtual stage here in a second. She's a family law attorney, divorce attorney, one of my favorite topics. She's going to come on the virtual stage right after this video.
Welcome to Care Sandwich, the podcast where we dive into the success journeys of law firm owners across the country. I'm Margarita Eberline, your host and the founder of Marketing Boss, a fractional chief marketing officer firm for law firms. On this show, we'll explore the challenges, strategies, and victories that have shaped law firms and how they wrap every interaction with care. Because we believe that caring isn't just a value, it's a strategy for success. So grab your favorite sandwich, sit back, and let's dig into a conversation filled with insight, inspiration, and of course, a lot of care.
Help me welcome to the virtual stage attorney Renee Bauer, family law attorney, award-winning author, motivational speaker, and a legal thought leader. Wow, those are a lot of titles. Let's go. Tell us about yourself.
Hi, Margarita. Thank you for having me here. I think you covered it. So I'm a lawyer, but all your listeners, we all are. But the thing that I really love talking about is marketing and branding and doing things differently. And that has been part of my journey of, yes, I'm a lawyer, but what else? And what else can I do that's aligned with that practice and helping others feel empowered to do really hard, uncomfortable things. And sometimes it's divorce and sometimes it's something else. And from that came my journey of writing and speaking, and entrepreneurship, and just pushing myself to be really uncomfortable, which has been really fun and such a journey because it has helped grow my business and just challenged me personally and professionally. So I'm psyched to be here and talk about all the things.
Yes. So there's two camps of thought I find in the legal profession when it comes to marketing and personal branding. There's, I'm going to say, one section of law firm owners that are like, I want to grow a brand and I don't want my face, my name, my image, my likeness. I just want it to be like a thing separate from me. And then there are the other firm owners like yourself, where you're like, you know what? I'm a whole person. I'm going to bring all of me into this thing. And talk us through, how did you have that? Because you had a shift. You went from one to the other. So what happened? Tell us the story. And then what has it been like for you? How has that worked out?
So what's funny is I'm both schools of thought that you just said, because the one school of thought is like my name, like most lawyers was part of the name of the law firm. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to take it off. So when someone called the office, I wasn't the person that they were looking for. So I actually removed my name from the law firm heading from that part of the business, but then really leaned into the personal branding part of it as well. So the personal branding story started because I thought that as a professional and as a lawyer, what you don't do is share any part of your personal story. Like, no one wants to hear it. It's not professional. And early on in my career, it's like you're the buttoned up version. Like, you're going to act the part, you're going to dress the part. And when I was really starting out early, it was like, I can't have personality in what I was wearing or wear the bright colors. Like, I had to look really business-like. And that has shifted over the years, but I still kept very much my personal story to myself. And I had a good friend of mine who started a podcast, and she's like, listen, I want to have you on as a guest. And this was about 5 years ago. And she's like, I'm going to come over. I'll bring some sushi. Like, I'll ask you some questions. It's going to be fine. And I'm like, okay, cool. I've never done a podcast before. You said sushi. I'm good. So she shows up, we have a drink, we eat some sushi, she clips the mic on me, and she starts asking me questions about my divorce. And it was the first time that I ever answered them in a really authentic, truthful way. And when the interview was done, I had to call up my mother and be like, just so you know, you might have come up in the podcast in kind of a not flattering way, just telling you. But something else also happened that was really important. I had people reach out to me, other women who said, thank you for sharing your story. I needed to hear that. I needed to hear the struggle. I needed to hear someone talk about the shame. And I realized I'm doing such a disservice to my clients by not sharing who I am with the world in the sense of how it's impacts what I do for a job. And so at that point, I started shifting and started talking about my divorce and talking about the struggles. And I didn't talk about like bashing exes or anything like that. It wasn't that. It was about like how I used it as an opportunity and how hard it was, and how I was filled with uncertainty and doubt, and all of like, it was like holding the mirror up to myself and what my journey looked like from a divorce. And when I started talking to clients that way and started talking about it on social media, that's when things really got interesting and the business grew. And that's when I got the book deal. That's when I started speaking on stages and sharing stories. I never in a million years thought that I would ever speak out loud, never mind in a room full of women. And it really just impacted, it made the practice, so it humanized it. And now when clients hear that, they can say like, you get me. And, or if someone's having a hard time, I can say, I get you because I've been there. And I think at the end of the day, that's what people want. They want connection and authenticity. And I think there's even now, there's such a shift away from these perfect posts and influencers who are living this like lifestyle. I just saw something so interesting. It was like, people don't want to see all of the designer stuff you're buying and because that's not real life for people. Like they want to feel connected and they want to see that authentic connection. And that's, I think that is like such a powerful marketing tool that most people don't think of when how do they market their law firm? They think about SEO and ads and all of that. But, you think about, okay, who are you? And how do you put that story forward and the why behind it? Like that's the reason why someone's going to call your office, not because of some ad that you ran that was produced professionally. It's the other stuff.
Yeah, and I think there's a place for all of it. I'm gonna pull out a couple of things for the audience that you said that were very impactful. The thought that you have to be the face of your actual law firm in as far as operations, and that's the risk of bringing your personal brand. I love that. Like, let's dispel that. You said that it's possible and that you are doing both. People don't call your office expecting to talk to you per se. They call your office because of your brand. So that I wanted to reiterate that because that was a very, very important point that you made. The other thing that I heard that I want to outline for our listeners is when you're sharing your personal stuff, I'm going to call it stuff, you don't have to do it from an angle of this is now your open journal to the world. This is now your mess. Like, if you can do it in a way where you're sharing in order to empower and inform your audience, like that's what I picked up on how you did it and why it's working for you. And I'm 100% aligned with the media. I'm going to call it the media mix. Instagram is a good case study. Like, I want to say maybe 8 years ago, the thing to do on Instagram was to have this beautiful grid, right? Of the professionally produced, the thumbnails. It was almost like all about the photography. Now, when I look at Instagram, the algorithm and how things have changed, law firm owners, law firm brands that have a mix of the polished every once in a while, but where it's mostly like the messy stuff, like the raw stuff, the real stuff, the videos of you talking from your car, seem to get a lot more engagement, I believe, and more of an ROI than when it's too produced. Yeah, I think those are really, really good nuggets. Talk to us about your book and where can we find it?
Yeah. So my book's called She Who Wins. And before I was a lawyer, I was a writer. I've been a writer since I was a kid. And I knew
there.
What?
You had that advantage that you were already a
Yes.
writer.
I mean, so, it's funny because people will write nonfiction books to help promote their business. And that wasn't me. I wrote the book because it was the writing that was the joy for me. And if it ended up helping to promote something, great. But nonfiction and personal development was not actually the direction I even wanted to go in. So I'm a fiction writer. And I wrote a fiction book that got me my literary agent. So I knew I wanted to go the traditional path. And we didn't publish that book. And I had come to her back in like 2020. And I was like, listen, I have an idea for a personal development book. I see these struggles that clients have. I see these struggles that women have. I want to write this book talking about not the, like, do all of this and you'll have success, I wanted to write a book that was a little bit more real and using storytelling. And she said to me, which you'll appreciate this, she's like, I love the idea, but you need a platform. Like, in order to sell a nonfiction book in the traditional world, the publisher needs to see you have a platform. And as she's talking to me, I'm Googling, how do I build a platform? And I'm like, oh, I have
ChatGPT.
we didn't have ChatGPT. And so I have to do all these things. And I'm like, okay, hold up. I will be back. I will be back at you and we will build this platform. And it was probably like 8 months later. I'm like, do I have enough of a platform after I was doing all of these things? And it was enough because it sold the book. And that was the book that sold. So I have another fiction book that we're trying to sell right now. But the nonfiction was not my intent to, like, I had a message, but it wasn't like I was writing this thing because I wanted people to drive people to my law firm. That was not it at all. And so She Who Wins is really, I took this framework that I helped clients use when they were trying to make the decision on what they wanted in their life and how to move forward. And I realized it could be applied really to anyone who's at a crossroads, anyone trying to figure out what's next. They feel like they're made for more. And I use humor. I use stories. I usually have my own, like my own stories that paint me in a certain light, like my own mishaps. I talk about stories, like things that I thought were healed, that I thought, like, as I was writing, I'm like, oh my God, this is coming up for me. Like, that means I'm still holding on to it. But it's really meant to be like an easy read that's inspiring and helps people take that next move. So that came out in 2023, called She Who Wins. And it's like my baby. It's such a source of pride because I just poured my heart and soul into that book. And then what happened is the book helped drive clients to the law firm, because I will have people who found me online or read the book and then reached out to the law firm for legal services. Now I'm only in one state, so I only can practice in that state, but we've had people that have come through the doors because of that book. So, or because I'm going to, like, book clubs in person in my state, or giving talks, and the book comes up. And then when you have a room of, let's say, 150 people, you're going to end up with a few of them. And I'm there maybe talking about my book, and few of them who hear the divorce story and end up coming over as clients, not because I was there promoting divorce, but because I was talking about something else. But then you end up just attracting people who now want to work with you in the area that they need. They're going through something, so they end up calling the office.
Hey there, I hope you're enjoying the conversation and your sandwich as much as we are. I want to take a moment to share a few words about our sponsor, Marketing Boss. If you're a law firm owner looking to supercharge your growth, our team at Marketing Boss is here to help. We've got over a decade of experience and a proven track record, and we specialize in growing law firms like yours with data-driven marketing leadership. So if you own a law firm and you're ready to get a predictable, steady flow of cases from your marketing, let's connect at marketing-boss.com.
I love that. And if you're listening to this and you're thinking, well, I'm not a writer, how do I apply this? I think my takeaway that I'm getting from you is you did this without an agenda, as a true expression of who you are. So if you're listening to this, ask yourself, who are you? What is it that you love to do? What's something that lights you up? And just do it. And what I'm hearing is you're a positive cautionary tale, or not a cautionary tale, you're a positive case study of how if you do it, then the idea will come to you, because I feel like that's sometimes how life goes. You take the
Yeah.
step, you take the leap, and then you start to see the opportunities. Sometimes we don't
Yeah.
get to know, and that's a good thing, right? I know with attorneys and data analysts alike, like we like predictability, right?
Yeah.
What if you just challenged yourself to follow a passion, and then just allowed life to just show you how can this help you with your business, and how can it be effortless? That was the other thing that I'm picking up from what you're saying. And I mean, I can definitely relate, in my personal experience. I'm a mom of 5 little boys. And it's not like I thought to myself, oh, let me have 5 kids and then build a marketing business around it all about efficiency. It's like, no, like I did the 2 things. And then I was like, oh, there's a connection here. If there's
Yes.
a way to do something efficiently, this mom of 5 is going to figure it out, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, I love that. So, Renee, how can people get a hold of you if they're listening and they're like, oh my God, I want her to be my family law attorney, or I want to refer her my cases? Talk to us about that, about your practice. Like, where is it located? Like, what geography do you serve? And then how can people connect with you if they want to learn more?
Yeah, and before I get there, but just to your point, I think that what you said is key, is to find the thing that lights you up or that you love doing, and don't try to, just because I wrote the book doesn't mean you have to write the book. Like, find that thing that works for you and leverage that and use that. Because nothing like burns me more than like, because people do it all the time. I have to write a book and I have to have it ghostwritten, and that's
Yes.
the step. And I'm like, no, if that gives you angst and you don't have joy with it, don't do it. Like, that's not the thing for you. There's so many other things. Maybe it's music, maybe it's art, maybe it's, I don't know, like there's so many other things out there. So I love that perspective of it. It's like you find your own path and leverage that. So where to find me? My website is familylawyerct.com. So I am located in Connecticut. We cover the entire state of Connecticut. We do divorce, custody, high net worth. It's kind of a specialty. We're not supposed to use the word specialty, but it's kind of what we focus on. But we do cover all of the state of Connecticut. We have 7 lawyers who are part of the firm, and we have 3 offices, one in Hamden, West Hartford, and South Norwalk. And so we take a really holistic approach. I think that customer service is at the forefront of what we do, because most lawyers, the easiest thing you can do to have a satisfied client is just to communicate with your clients. And so that's not that hard. And I think a lot of lawyers don't do that well. And so we really focus on making clients part of that process. So we have a free divorce workbook on our website. Anyone can go to grab it, download it, totally free. And we're taking cases all over the state of Connecticut.
I love it. I'm curious and I think we still have time.
Yeah.
How did your personal journey with divorce inform the way you engineered your practice to run the way that it runs?
So, that's been such a journey, because when I started out, I knew that clients needed some hand-holding. And in my area with divorce, you have clients who are at their neediest. When I first started practicing law forever ago with a different firm, I did some criminal, and I was like, wow, the criminal clients are totally different in terms of what their needs and communication are versus the family law clients. And it was like, you have to meet your clients where they're at. And I recognized, like, okay, family law clients, they've maybe never had to deal with the court system before. They're terrified, they're concerned, they're overwhelmed, they're uncertain. And so it's been a journey of providing a level of customer service. And it was like, what more can we do to make these clients feel heard? And I looked at, how did I feel? Well, I had shame and I had embarrassment and I didn't have someone to talk to. So what can we do? Well, let's bring a divorce coach in who can really take the time to understand and listen to clients. Well, let's have touch points. Let's send a gift to them when they hire us with some inspirational and aspirational things in there. Let's, so we do that kind of unreasonable hospitality throughout the process of helping clients to recognize that they're important to to us. They're not just a number, and we're paying attention and we're listening to them. And that's one of my favorite things, is like really listening to the client and gifting them something that is so deeply personal to them that when they get it, they cry. I mean, we've had that reaction. We've had clients like, because we heard something that they said, and we gave them something at some point in the process when we thought that they needed it. And it's that level of hospitality and customer service that then, from a marketing perspective, pays off on the other end, because we get referrals upon referrals upon referrals. And that's going to be the best marketing tool ever, rather than just a cold click on, a search.
I love that, because a lot of law firms think about the top of the funnel marketing wise, like the billboards, the TV ads, the radio, the Google, like the top of the funnel, right? The conversion process.
Yes.
But we miss this wonderful opportunity at the bottom of the funnel with our customer service, with, I'm going to call it remarketing. Gift giving is a remarketing strategy. I don't know if you knew that, right? Because you're marketing to somebody that's already hired you. So that's considered remarketing, right? And that is where you get the referrals. That is where you get the Google reviews, which then helps with your visibility. Like, those things are so important. And the other thing that you said that I really liked, and that I actually noticed with my divorce attorney that I hired, is you paused long enough to think about how is your customer feeling, and you created an experience accordingly. Like, my divorce attorney would always ask at the beginning of every call before getting into the legal stuff is, how are you feeling? And it wasn't like she was inviting me, for it to be my therapy session, but like, it was nice that she at least wanted to know, like, I'm tired, I'm happy, I'm whatever, like, and we can start there. And then based on that, she would take the conversation to where it needed to go. So I think that is so smart. And I hope anybody listening, like, write that one down. Like, think about, how is your customer feeling? Create an experience, and trust, like, you will get the ROI. Like, and not many people, or not many law firm owners do this. So then, like, it sets you apart big time.
We do things. I looked at marketing in a different way as of a year ago. I said, okay, what can we do? What is everyone doing? Okay, it's important we do that. But what are people not doing? And it was the boots on the ground stuff. And we show up for conferences, and we speak at conferences for mental health professionals and therapists. And then we show up we were just at one 2 weeks ago at a business conference. There wasn't one lawyer there. There were 1,500 people there, and there wasn't one lawyer there. And I was on a panel. We also had a booth. I mean, the amount of connections that we have. And we had someone come up to us and say, I saw you at an event last year, and then I saw that you had a booth at this event, and now this is the third touch point. So think about, if someone crosses her path, she may not need the divorce, but if someone crosses her path who needs one, and she says, oh, I know of a firm, and she's already seen us 3 times, and she's going to continue to see us if she shows up for those things. And it's like all of those touch points. And that's what you want to be top of mind. And people forget that whole like old school networking, and it works.
Yeah, no. And people forget, marketing includes networking. Marketing includes gift giving. Marketing includes phone calls. Like, it includes all of it. So I love this. Well, I want to invite you all to get in touch with Renee and her team. So let's put up her contact info once again. If you're listening and you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is somebody that I want to refer folks to. If you want a speaker, you can go to her website and learn more about how to book her online. And by the way, I love your website. I was like, this personal brand website is like fire. So love it. And then, so check it out, get inspired. I'm going to ask you one more question, and then we have to wrap it up, because I'm gonna get in trouble with my producers.
Okay. I'm ready for this one.
What is your favorite sandwich? Because after all, this is called the Care Sandwich Podcast. So we talk about
I always play it safe with sandwiches. And I just, for the first time, I'm like, all right, I want something different. And I had this sandwich on a hard roll with shaved steak, and it was like buffalo. And so it was like a buffalo with like blue cheese, and it was delicious. It was like so not my typical like grilled chicken boring. And it was this shaved steak with red hot and buffalo, and probably a total calorie bomb, but it was worth every bite.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but buffalo sauce just does things to me. Like the next day, I
Right?
just feel so icky. I don't know what it is,
I
but it's so
know.
good.
I know, but it's so good. And they did it with like a shaved steak, which was a different twist on it. So yes, you're not doing that, every day of the week, but it's a nice little treat.
Nice, nice. Well, I love it. Well, there you have it, folks. Renee is available and she can take speaking engagements and check out her book. It's available probably on Amazon. I
Yeah.
hope you can
Yeah.
get it online. And get in touch with her. Refer her your cases in her area. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Care Sandwich. We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Care Sandwich. Remember, the way we care for our clients, our teams, and ourselves can make all the difference in our success. Until next time, keep caring, keep growing, and I'll see you on the next episode of Care Sandwich.